Where you move, I will.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of BTS, which is Behind the Song, where we interview our local worship songwriters on how they wrote the song and how God inspired them. And today I have with me Clovis from Encounter, and we're going to share about their latest release called This Is Our Time. So congratulations on the release.
Thank you.
But before we talk about your song, I guess our listeners also want to know more about Encounter. What is Encounter all about? Is it a band name or what is it all about? Maybe you can share with us.
Yeah. Okay, so the Encounter really is a worship and a music ministry. Our vision really is to see every tribe and tongue encounter God through worship, through music, and through adoration. You know, we have two key missions. Really, one of it is to create the worship space for people to come, to be themselves, to just be at the feet of Jesus, physically, and right now during the COVID period, even digitally. And our second mission is to reach the unreached through music. And I think this is so important, especially for such a time as this, you know, where we know that the harvest is ripe, the harvest is there, but the laborers are few. So I think and for us especially at the Encounter, we believe in the power of worship, in the power of music. These two really can reach people whom, you know, may get turned away from listening to sermons, who get, you know, kind of like, oh, why am I listening to a lecture? But this music actually can hit the soul, and we believe like these original songs that we produce, original songs that we write, can really be that evangelistic tool to reach out to these people. So these are our two key missions, and you know, we have many events that really support the two key missions, like our monthly Encounter night. So before the COVID period, we used to have monthly Encounter nights once a month. Just people just come worship God together. So now we're looking at big plans for the upcoming year. We're looking forward to working with and collaborating with churches, ministries, to see how we can, you know, have this movement, this worship movement, because we know that this is really our time, to see this revival happening in our land.
Amen. And so apt that your latest single release is called This Is Our Time. Probably you can share with us what is the song all about? What is the meaning of the song?
Yeah, so This Is Our Time, as the title suggests, is really an alarm or a wake-up call for especially my generation of people, you know, between like 25, 35, this group of people, where we feel sometimes, I mean, this is a generation that is so clouded by all our wants, our desires. You know, we are blessed to be born in Singapore. We have everything we need. You know, but when we talk about, you know, really standing up for Christ, standing up for the message for God, many of us, you know, may not be so comfortable. I know of people who are even uncomfortable to pray for their food when they are amidst their friends. So, you know, when I was praying in sometime last year, it was just as I was just asking God, like, God, no, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do, especially for my own life? It was then that it was very clear. It was a wake-up call, like, wake up, you know, like, Clovis, wake up. You know, will you stand up for me? Will you say yes and keep saying yes to me? And then it was then that I realized that, yeah, man, this is our time to stand up, to make that stand, you know. So This Is Our Time really is, it's my heart's cry. It's a rally for my generation, for the generations and after. It's really a confession. It's really my desire to just keep saying yes to Him, you know. So this is what really in gist what This Is Our Time really is about.
Amazing. Maybe you can talk through the song, walk through with us through the song, like from the first verse all the way down. Like how does the lyrics encapsulate what you just shared?
Yeah, so I'm glad you asked this question, because it's something for me especially, you know, the way I write my songs, the way I pen my lyrics down. It's based on a process. Of course, you know, you have some of us may have the chorus first, may have the bridge, the verses first, but for me it's like a process. So I did have the chorus first, so I knew like, okay, you know, this is our time, this is our season. I knew where I was going, the direction of the song that I was going to go towards, you know. So I knew it was going to be a fast-paced song, and honestly speaking, writing fast-paced songs can be a little bit more difficult.
Yep.
It can be a little bit more, I mean, yourself, you're a songwriter, you will know it's really the rhythm, the beats, you know, how do we get everything in together and how it's gonna make sense, how is it gonna sound. Yeah, so I was like, God, are you sure? A praise song? Then I remember it was so clear. I thought you wanted an anthem. You said you wanted an anthem, right? So I was like, okay, fine, anthem, okay. So like the process so important. So how I envision the song, like I mentioned earlier, a rally cry. So it has to be like a journey. So the verse, I can use one word to describe it, is the desire. I think, you know, God can have so much plans for you. He can have everything planned out for you. This is what you're supposed to do. But if you don't have that desire, if you don't have that heart to say, yeah, God, you know, you take over, then everything is going to be useless. Yeah, so it's so important. The first verse and the second verse is all about the desire. So it's where you go, you know, God, you know, where you go, I will follow. When you call, I will answer. It's these sort of things like, yeah, you know, God can do certain things, but what is your response? So this is really the first verse. It's all about our desire. You know, stir in us a desire, breathe your life into us. You need to be that willing vessel. So that's really very much the first verse. And the first verse ends with, hear the sound, it is now. So there's this sort of like urgency, it is now. Yeah, because like I told you, it was like a wake-up call for me when I was asking God, like, God, you know, what now? I want to do so much, but what now? And he said, will you wake up? Will you make the stand? So I had to add a bit of urgency in the verse. To hear the sound not necessarily like a sound, but really just hear the voice of God, hear the sound. It is now. Yeah, so it then proceeds. So once you have that desire, it proceeds into the pre-chorus. The pre-chorus is all about surrender. So now, will you lay aside everything for me? So the pre-chorus goes like, for you I live, for you I breathe, Jesus, have your way. So like, to me, I mean, it's all about us giving and laying our lives at the altar. Will you be able to say, you know, yeah, God, your will be done, your will above all else. That will be my purpose. So yeah, that's the pre-chorus. And then there's this little part on evangelistic portion. Yeah, so it says like the second part of the pre-chorus. So it's, for you I live, for you I breathe, Jesus, have your way. You know, and then after that, this part where it says, you know, I want to lift you up. So it brings me to this verse in John 12:32, you know, when you lift him up, he will draw all men unto you. All you have to do is to lift him up, and then he will draw all men unto you. So, not unto you, but unto him, you know. So really, this is the part that I infused in, you know, the evangelistic portion. So, you know, desire verse, and then it goes into like a surrender mode, and then the chorus comes in. The chorus is the stand. This is our time. This is our moment. This is our season. Yeah. So then I added this part, God overflow. So this is just, it's not about us. It's not about me, mine, what I can do, and how I can change the world. But really, the focus has to be on God again. So which is why the God overflow came in. So it's, all this can't happen unless God, the Spirit overflows. And that's how revival takes place. Yeah. Then the next part of the chorus is, come have your way, our hearts are open. So there's this part where we say, you know, God, you know, this is me, a vessel that has the desire, willing to surrender, come have your way. Our hearts are open. And then one life to live. So this is the portion of the sacrifice. You only have one life. You know, those young people say, you know, YOLO, you only have one life, do whatever you want. But you know, you only have that one precious life. What are you going to do for God? Yeah, so that's the chorus. So now I'm going to bring you through that journey. So far, the journey, making sense, right? Okay, so, and then it goes into the bridge. What I love about the bridge is that the bridge gels the whole song together. I think to me, bridges are so important because that's where I feel like the song takes off before it goes back to the chorus or the outro, whatsoever. So the bridge is the availability. Yeah, so now you have that desire, you have that surrender and sacrifice, that stand you make. But will you say that you're available? So this verse in Isaiah, which still captures me to this very day, I think it's Isaiah 6 verse 8. It says, you know, here I am, send me. When Isaiah answered to God, say, who will go for me? And then Isaiah said, here I am, send me. So that's where the bridge, the key, the crux of the bridge is, here I am, send me. all my life for your glory. Yeah, so that's really how the bridge comes into place, and that's the journey for the song.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah, man.
Then maybe you can share with us also, when you went down to writing it, what were there challenges, or how do you manage to put the whole song together with the music itself?
Yeah. Well, there were definitely challenges. I mean, first and foremost, writing fast-paced songs. It's never easy. And I was always thinking to myself, am I writing like too old school? Is it gonna it sounds nice in my head, but when it comes out of my mouth and when I play on the keys, does it sound like what I want it to sound? So the challenge was really to ensure that it is, first and foremost, it has to be from the throne room of God, whether it's from Him or is it just my emotions. And I think what really drove me was that wake-up call that I was telling you about earlier. Where I knew that, this is our time. It was so clear. It was just, the title came into my head so quickly that I was like, wow, okay, God, I know, okay, the song is going to be This Is Our Time. Yeah, so writing praise songs, I was like, God, are you sure? Yeah, and then like I mentioned, He said, you want an anthem? I'm going to give you an anthem. Are you ready to, to just write it? Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, okay, let's just go with it. And then that's where He just showed the whole journey, and then where I just flowed and just grateful that God gave me this opportunity to just actualize and finally have that song come out.
Amazing. And how did the music came about?
To be honest, the bridge was the biggest problem, because I love bridges so much, and I think God was just telling me, don't be too satisfied with what you have in the first run. So I had written the bridge once, and then I was like, nah, it doesn't sound nice, it doesn't sound catchy enough. People will be like, what is the kind of tune you're singing? Are you just making some noise or some music? To me, the melody, I need it to be catchy. I need it to stay in the people's head, because if someone turns on your music and then in the first few 10-20 seconds it's like a drone, it's boring,
there must be a hook.
Yeah. So I was like, God, I need that hook, So yeah, and then it just flowed, and then the bridge was the part where I say, God, I need something to like tie everything together. It needs to be a heart's cry. It needs to be a generational cry where people can just proclaim and declare together, like, here I am, send me, God, send me. All I am, all my life for your glory. Unto you be your praise, all I am is yours. So melody-wise, really, I'm amazed at myself to be able to write this, because I know it's not me. Because I know my limitations as well. It was so clear that God's hand was upon this, and I'm just so glad to be used by Him to be the steward for His glory. Yeah.
This is our time, this is our season, this is our moment. God overflow, come have your way, our hearts are open.
For those who are songwriters, do you have any tips for them? One tip.
Yeah, don't be satisfied with that first thing that you write, because to be honest, you'll be writing many tunes, many lyrics, but just keep writing, because I know that God will use you. You just need to be willing to say, yes, God, I'm just going to write. I'm just going to do what you tell me to do. You have called me to be a songwriter. I'm just going to write. I'm just going to pen, and whether or not it becomes an actual song, whether or not becomes it drops on Spotify or Apple Music, it doesn't matter, because as songwriter you need to just write songs, because it will impact people who are listening to it, whether or not it's just you and the keys or just even a cappella, because that's the power of songs. It's the power of music. It transcends just words. It sticks in the hearts of people. So yeah, just keep writing. Don't give up. Don't feel like, I can't write a tune. The tune in my head is so boring, because that's not really very important. Because God just wants to use a willing soul, and if you're willing, I'm sure He will use you. Yeah.
Amen. Hey, if you want to hear the Encounter song, you can hear it on the Encounter Spotify page.
Yep.
If not, you can also drop by Amplify Podcast to listen to their song. Anyway, thanks for your time. Thank you for coming down to share the song story with us.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.